Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and all in between, to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. So, we'll jump straight in again with year 1130, chapter 2, Sons of the Nobility. When last we left off, we had just passed our exams, and we focused on theology and aced our exams. Although unfortunately snubbing our brother and our best friend, so that might come back to haunt us later on. Sir Tibor's school teaches children of all stripes. Nobles of the mantle and low-born parents can send their sons here. And every passing day the children of noblemen invent new ways to snub and bully the commoners. Most of the time the bully leading them is Diederik, the son of the secretary for the imperial chancellery and a self-important slob. The sons of noblemen never pick on you, however. They know that your father has been ennobled by the mantle. However, Diederik and his retinue soon choose Tomas as their favourite victim. Time and time again you ask your friend not to pay them any mind, but again and again Tomas grows angry and snaps at their self-satisfied mockery. It is early morning. The students are busy flocking to the classroom for the next lesson. You wave Tomas over when you see him. He waves back at you, and then a bucket full of slop splashes on him. Needless to say, it is the work of Diederik and his entourage. You hear his familiar creaky laughter. The tailor's son stinks. How dare he sit next to decent folk? Tomas clenches his fists. You're dead, Diederik! He throws himself at Diederik's haughty entourage like a soldier ready to wage war. He attacks them first. This is just what they expected, and they are free to retaliate. He barely makes one movement before 4 pairs of hands grab him at once. Diederik sneers and kicks your friend in the belly. Tomas grasps for air and starts coughing. You stand between them as Diederik readies another kick. The nobleman's son cocks an eyebrow. Why do you mingle with commoners? He asks. Your father is a noble of the mantle. You ought to be friends with your own kind, your equals, not the dirt beneath your feet. Behind him, 4 boys hold Tomas down as he struggles furiously. The other students are watching you, frozen in fear. Diederik hauntingly extends a hand to you. He clearly expects you to shake it. What will you do? Okay, so I'm not going to shake his hand. See, I can only do that because my relations with Tomas aren't great. I'm not going to leave Tomas because we left him on his own last time to defend the forts and we chose to study for our exams, so I can admonish the nobleman's son. The children of parents who have been the ennobled of the mantle still bear the commoner's lot. I'm not going to do that because that just confirms my own commoner status. I can turn him over to the teachers. We're just going to make them laugh at me. Or I can challenge Diederik to a fight. I have no experience in combat at all. There's no skills even to train for that. I just don't see the other two as being any other good options either. It's a bit like in Harry Potter when Malfoy, in Philosopher's Stone, says to Harry that they should be friends instead of being friends with the Weasleys, being friends with Ron. Admonish a nobleman's son. No, that's just basically being... that's just being a smart arse and telling him that, but it just doesn't help the situation at all. I'm basically saying, why would you want to be friends with me because I'm a commoner? Oh, I'm just going to challenge him to a fight. You do not shake his hand. Instead, you challenge Diederik to display at least some dignity by fighting you one-on-one. That is, if he considers himself a nobleman's son, of course. Diederik's face grows serious. There is no way for him to refuse this challenge in public. Diederik makes a sign, and Tomas is released and pushed to the floor. He gets back on his feet, cursing and itching to rush at them again, but you hold your friend back. The teacher of imperial law comes into the room just in time. Everybody immediately returns to their seats. A day full of lessons begins. You keep daydreaming of Diederik's face and how you are going to put an end to that nasty smile of his. Let's catch that bastard together and clean his clock. He hurt me, not you. The deal has been made, you tell your friend. This is a matter of your honour now. Tomas huffs angrily, but agrees. Diedrich is already waiting for you in a narrow back street by the school, his retinue by his side. You walk forward and give him an opportunity to end this dispute once and for all. This is a nobleman's way. If you win this battle, Diedrich and the other children of nobles will never pick on the commoner's sons again. If he wins, you will never stand in their way and protect other students. You will fight him one-on-one. Oh god, I don't think I can win this. Diedrich walks forward uncertainly. You both roll up your sleeves. You raise your fist in a fighting stance. Diedrich tries to copy your movements. You hit him first. Diedrich does manage to land several glancing blows, but he is fighting a losing battle. He has never been in a real street fight. Of course! We had a fight with Tomas, I completely forgot. Tomas nods in approval. You have learned a lot from him. Are we going to win? It does not take long for Diedrich to stop fighting back. One more blow and he squeals and raises his hands. You have won! Oh my god, that's completely not what I expected to happen. I need to get better at remembering my past decisions. Fighting Tomas early on is actually character continuity. I feel better now. You turn to the other nobleman's sons with a victorious look on your face. No more teasing, and if anyone else says so much as one bad word about Tomas, they'll pay. I think we've made up for the fact we chose to study theology and not help Tomas. Diedrich's former retinue disperses silently. And our nobility has gone up, and we are now honourable. Oh, sorry, we were still honourable, but we're so close to being noble. Brilliant, well done. I'm so happy with that. Great choice. 13 years of age, 1131. The Silver Tree. Your theology teacher tells you more about Anizot. It is more than just a provincial capital, it is also a sacred place blessed by the gods. It is where the twin gods' first disciples spilled their blood, and from that blood grew the sacred silver tree. Its enormous foliage hangs over the city, you see its branches in the sky every day, but you have never approached the trunk of the tree yourself. Today you will be taking your first trip to the Silver Tree. Your class is visiting a service in the great temple by the tree's very roots. Thanks to your theology teacher, you and the other students will witness this landmark of the twins' advent up close. Everybody is excited. Soon you and the other boys enter the slums surrounding the church district of Anizot. The roots are pulsating under your feet. They spread underground all throughout the area. Pathetic, cramped hovels and filthy streets surround the trunk of the tree. They are home to paupers, day labourers and preachers. The people of the district bow humbly to you and point you towards the temple. They seem at peace, despite the abject poverty in which they live. All who live directly beneath the tree are filled with its divine grace, your teacher says. People come here to make peace with the world and their fate in it. Your class is unusually quiet. Everyone is listening to the rustling of the leaves and the underground beating of the roots. The sky above you is obscured by the tree's canopy. You find the temple of the twin gods right next to the tremendous trunk of the tree. It almost seems a part of it. There is a crowd there. Pilgrims dressed in travelling clothes, paupers and beggars, common people of the city, and occasional well-dressed noble. There are arguments among some people who are gathered in separate small groups. Many people are wandering around, staring upward at the tree's branches. The tree impresses you with its might and the calm emanating from it. You are filled with a desire to sit down and think of the world, to learn something about yourself, to touch the silver-white bark and hearken to the whispering leaves. You are distracted enough to fall back from the rest of your classmates. You notice a small path. It should take you right next to the trunk. A tall, red-haired woman walks out of the crowd of pilgrims. She is wearing a worn white robe. She is no longer young, but her face is youthful and covered in freckles. Her hand clutches a book. You have never seen this lady pilgrim before, yet she looks at you almost as if she has recognized a lifelong friend. She beckons to you and says her name, Mathilde, a preacher from Astynia. What she says next shakes you to your very core. It is commendable to see a young man so keen to learn the teachings of the twins, she says, yet you will never follow the light of the truth within the walls of the temple. Inside you will find only the lies about the lots, the erring words of prophet Isaias sanctified by the passage of great centuries. Yet anyone who sets out to read the account of the twins' own lives knows that they never so much as mentioned the lots. Oh, this is the old faith and the new faith, I think. The red-haired preacher's words frighten you. They clash with everything you have heard from Mother, everything you have been taught at school. The lots are a lie? You freeze in fear. Should you argue with Mathilde or ask her for more information? Or should you treat her as a madwoman and catch up with your classmates? You suddenly feel a small, warm hand grasp your own. You see a girl right next to you. She is just a little older than you, wearing a black dress, threadbare yet almost spotless. Her hair is covered by a handkerchief, with only a single golden lock showing. Her brown eyes are burning with rage, her hand pulling you away from the red-haired preacher. You stare in confusion at the strange young girl, your cheeks flushed by the sudden touch. There is just a bit of colour on her cheeks too, but then she starts speaking to you quickly. Jean. Don't listen to her, she's dangerous. Come to the temple with me, only there will you see the truth. Oh, that's not open for us. We don't have insight. Oh, that's a shame. That would have been quite nice to see what happens. That actually would have been what I had chosen if I had the option. So my destiny insight. I think from being a kid and perception. Anyway, you stand there, surrounded by the crowd of praying pilgrims and the sounds of shuffling feet, torn between two people you have never seen before, and each of them expects you to follow her. But all the while you hear the whispering of the wind in the tree's branches. The branches reach out to you, almost as if the tree wishes to speak to you itself. Can you hear its voice? No. That's upsetting. I mean, I would trust a tree in this more than the two people. And it's obviously signifying a future battle we're probably going to have between the old faith and the new faith. I mean, the problem I have with choosing Lethem and approach to tree is that it might be worthless because I don't have the necessary skill. Like, it might just say, you approach the tree and unfortunately you can't hear anything, and I've wasted the opportunity to learn more. Or I could learn inside the temple. I feel like that's purporting the old system though. I'm going to trust it and leave them and approach the tree. The tree is beautiful. The silver white foliage stretches and spreads towards the sky, held aloft by a trunk so thick it would be a challenge to walk around it. The leaves rustle and whisper peacefully in the wind. The tree, it seems, to speak to you. You walk away from the odd-looking preacher and the young acolyte, ignoring them as they call out to you. You walk around the temple and the crowd of people, getting closer to the tree with every step. Then you extend a shaking hand and touch the bark. It is unusually warm. You can feel a pulse beneath the roots. The tree is alive. The roots are so gigantic they form large grottos, spaces of air embraced by the roots and the ground. You squeeze into one of these grottos. It is unusually bright and quiet, shielded from the noise of Anizot. Right now, there is only you and the tree. You sit down. There are leaves rustling all around you. The only noise you hear is the beating pulse of the life that flows through the tree, and this pulse beats in time with your own heart. You feel clarity and calmness, free of doubt and frustration. The tree speaks to you. Or are they your own thoughts, so strange, unfamiliar, and eye-opening? These thoughts speak of soothing love, and of crystal clear law, and of love and law intertwining to bring the miracle of life to you. You stop slouching and your frown becomes a light smile. Hours pass like fleeting seconds. You lose track of time until you overhear someone shouting your name. Alas, it is time to leave this grotto. The sun is setting over Anisot now. The day was quick to pass. Your teacher frowns, ready to scold you. You mumble an explanation and say you are ready to be punished for disobedience. Yet, instead, the teacher nods in understanding. You keep looking back at the tree all the way home. Whatever happened to you today, you find it difficult to put into words. Oh, I thought it would give us an increase in spirituality. I'm starting to get a sneaking fear that I'm playing a jack of all trades and I should start specializing more and more. It was disappointing not to be able to hit the epiphany option, so I need to commit more, I think. But anyway, we move on. Year 1131, The Shadow of the Past. A chapter in the Lord of the Rings, actually. Another school day has ended. You are making your way home, still mulling over the things you learned from your teachers. The founding of the empire, the eternal and unshakable rule of a single dynasty, the 3 estates, each with its own rights. What an odd sort of order the world has, and yet so mysterious. At least it sounds that way when your teachers talk about it. Mother is waiting for you on the porch. She smiles gently when she sees you, and yet her expression still shows great concern. Father left on a trip to several distant migrant towns a few days ago. Since then, Mother has been trying to tell you something, but she seems uncertain. Son, could you put your things away and come pray with me? You join Mother in a prayer to the twins. She prays with fervent sincerity, her head bowed low, reciting the words of obedience to them and their great design in a barely audible whisper. You repeat after her, just as she taught you ever since you were a little boy. When the prayer ends, Mother sighs and turns to you. Morgan, my son, you are 13 now. You'll be grown soon. It's time you learned about certain things that are important to our family. Difficult things. It's about your father and me. About our marriage. You gaze curiously into Mother's eyes. I'm sure you've wondered about this before. Your father is a nobleman of the mantle, so how could he marry a commoner with another man's child? But you see, Morgan, your father, when his first wife, Amalia Elborn, died, it was a painful blow to him. He lost the will to live, lost all purpose. He felt like his own destiny was cut short that day as well. And then he met me. You know the troubles I had in the past. I went to the prefecture as a petitioner, just to ask them for help, protection, justice. When I was a young girl, I worked at a small shop that sold crockery and dishes. A nobleman took a liking to me. May his name be forever forgotten. The twins know I was humble and honoured by his lot to rule. But he took me by force. Mother falls silent, summoning the courage to continue. Gloria is that nobleman's daughter, but he was outraged. How could I have the gall to burden him with low-born progeny? He turned me out onto the street with that little baby girl in my arms. Your mother's voice is shaking now. You take her hand tenderly. I had no home, no honour, nowhere to go, no one to help me. When I went to the prefecture, I didn't really think the judges there would help me find justice against my former master. But when Sir Robert heard my plea, his eyes met mine, and I believe that, at that very moment, the twins themselves granted him the gift of their love. Your father told me there was nothing he could do to make that detestable nobleman marry me. but he would never abandon me and the baby Gloria, and if I agreed, he would take them into his own home. Tears are running down Mother's cheeks. And I knew it, my son. I knew how much his honour and reputation would suffer, but caring for me brought him back to life. It's like he experienced another sacrament. He rediscovered his noble purpose, his lot to rule and protect and care for others. But his decision to marry me, he is still paying for it today. Your father had the courage to defy your grandfather, the founder of his bloodline. If only you knew how much he had to endure, my son. If only you knew the despicable rumours we heard about the Brantes all over Anisot. It was only thanks to the efforts of Sir Gregor that the Brante bloodline managed to hang on to what little remained of its reputation. And now the noble families have all but forgotten about that scandal, thank the twins. Mother falls silent. She looks at you intently. Do you understand what she is telling you? My son, I'm not telling you this just to share my pain of the past. I have no reason to complain. Even Sir Gregor has accepted me through gritted teeth. But you need to understand the heavy burden our family must bear, including our scandalous marriage and Gloria's foul origin. And Gloria, she can never be a Brante. Even if the elder Brantes agreed, the news would stir up the old scandal in the minds of high society, and if that were to happen, Morgan, they would see even your birth as illegitimate. Mother sighs heavily. What I told you just now is something you have to know, son. You are about to enter adult life. By my lot, I must be humble. I cannot tell you how to treat your family. But may I ask you a question? Now that you know all of this, do you still see Gloria as your sister? I am absolutely going to accept Gloria as my sister. Regardless of her origin, Gloria will always be my family. Filled with determination, you assure Mother that Gloria is and will always be your sister. You want Gloria to be a Brante too. You want her to be a part of your family. Who cares what the nobles of Anisot say? Mother beams with quiet joy when she hears this. Oh, Morgan, if only you knew how happy that would make me, to have our family united at last. However, the joy on her face quickly gives way to concern. But I already owe good Sir Robert a debt I can never repay. He's given my daughter so much, a home, an education, his care and advice. The Brante bloodline could suffer so much from Gloria's existence. We should all just learn to accept her status as it is. Just then, you hear Gloria carefully knock at the door of Mother's chamber. Mother, Morgan, I can't find you. You happily greet your sister, yet she is your sister. No old secrets can ever change that. Mother gives you and Gloria a kiss on the forehead and returns to her prayers. You and your sister walk downstairs together. Mother is alone by her bedside now, thanking the twins with a quiet prayer for the Brante family they have given her. You hope they can hear her. That's nice. My sister and Mother like me more. There seems to be so many branching plot lines that I'll definitely have to replay this again. Oh dear. Year 1131, Fall, the Flash and the Flame. You are 13 now. Another theology lesson. Today's sermon is about the priests and why the clergy is one of the only 3 estates with the right to interpret the lots and guide the other 2 estates accordingly. Tomas sits next to you, huffing and puffing as he fervently writes down the teacher's every word. But you've heard all this from Mother many times before, so you take this moment to daydream a little. Father promised to take you to the capital once your studies are complete. But the teacher suddenly casts a stern look around the lecture hall and raises his voice at one of your classmates. A boy by the name of Brian jumps out of his seat. The teacher asks him to repeat what he had just said. Brian freezes and seems to shrink. He tries to muster a reply, but nothing comes out. The teacher becomes agitated. Someone is about to get punished. The teacher now looms over Brian. The boy's cheeks are flushed and his eyes are covered in tears. You all watch the teacher's iron-bound book as he raises it sharply and about to strike. Brian shrieks and raises a hand in front of him. A sudden flash. The teacher screams and buries his face in his arms. His hair is ablaze, and his skin is covered in horrible burns. It's magic, real magic, just like in the books about the Magra Rebellion. The class freezes in shock. There is a dull thud as the iron-bound book falls to the floor. We were told magic was supposed to be extinct. Brian's hysterical laughter rends the silence. He stands up from his bench, fire in his eyes and sparks on his fingertips. There are screams now. Students run for the door. The teacher tries to extinguish his burning hair. Brian snaps his fingers, and the book of Isatius on the desk turns into pillars of flame. He laughs and raises his arms, and the curtains catch fire. The screams grow louder, and the flames howl. Brian's face is tense and violent. His mouth is spewing flames. His whole body is shaking with laughter. He steps toward the door. You and Tomas glance at each other. He's going to burn the whole school down. Your friend's determination makes you brave. You run behind Brian and knock him off his feet. You both tumble to the floor. Even through his clothes, his body sears your flesh. Brian screams, convulses, and grabs Tomas by the shoulders with his burning hands. Tomas howls but stays put, then knocks Brian senseless with several fierce blows to the head. There are servants fussing about the room now. They put out the fire and take away the teacher, his body covered in horrible burns. You and Tomas remain next to Brian, who is lying on the floor, silent. Soon, 3 men in black cloaks enter the doors of the school, each bearing an edict sealed with silver. The Inquisition. You and Tomas are told to step away from the witch. They lock Brian's neck in a silver collar and take him away. One of the Inquisitors remains behind to tell the students what happened. That was magic, he explains. The ungodly power that twists the minds of men into savage instruments of murder. Only the sacred shackles of silver can hold it at bay. Only the power of the twins can save us from evil, its evil grasp. The next day you were forbidden from ever mentioning Brian's name again. He is no more. Oh my god, that's incredible. That opens up a whole new section of this story. This just gets better and better. Whew, just take a second to take in that. I had a feeling magic wouldn't be all gone, but to have it so blatantly used like that early on is interesting. The Nobleman's Lot. A great day looms ahead. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the Empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the Empire's reign continues into its 2nd century. Celebrations in honour of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. One of these evenings, Father tells everyone that Grandfather is going to bring Stefan back home for the holiday. They say families should celebrate the day of anointment together. You could benefit from your elder brother's company. With his noble education, Stefan might be able to teach you how noblemen are supposed to act. I highly doubt it. Soon, Stefan arrives. He now handles himself differently. When it comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he is still Grandfather's double. But he is more grown up now and far less haughty to you. It is a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Magra. You and Stefan are sitting in the library. He is telling you about Eterna, the capital of the Empire. It is full of so many wonders. The Imperial Palace, the enormous Temple of the Twins, the Military Academy, the Imperial College. You have read so much about these places, yet he has seen them firsthand. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruins of Char Melanandas's palace. She could be lost in there. You and Stefan exchange looks. Char Melanandas, the rebellious duke. The ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claim his tainted magic still lingers there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back again to prove you are not afraid of the long-dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with his sword in its sheath. Get ready, Morgan. We're going to rescue Gloria. She mustn't come. She must have gone to the ruins in search of inspiration for another of her little rhymes. That's quite interesting. The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. You and your elder brother head outside. You are confused by Stefan's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being, so why is he still so determined to rescue her? Stefan notices your expression. Are you wondering why I care about Gloria all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Brante, but father still took her into our house. I must respect his seniority and defend Gloria like she is one of our own. You are a Brante too, noble or not, which means it is your duty to aid me. The ruins of Milanandas, that's a hard name, palace span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remnants are overgrown with thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickwork. Even the worst scum of the land steer clear of this place. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing, your sister's writing. You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone wall nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground, face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk young thugs surround her, cackling and swinging their arms about. You hear their shouts. Look at the lass, sitting here rhyming words together. She thinks she's all noble, but don't you worry, you low-born tot. We're going to teach you your own place. One of the louds spits at Gloria as she lies there. Get away from her this instant, you bastards, or I'll spill your guts. They respond with mocking laughter. Stefan draws his sword. The street thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he is only one armed man against many. They start reaching out for sticks and stones. Stay by my side, don't let them flank me. Oh god. Stefan's hands shakes, but he looks ready for battle. Oh, there's no bad blood, so that's good. Oh, my willpower is 15. I could charge them. Sorry, he is outnumbered. For a moment you hesitate. Perhaps it might be better to run for the nearby district and call for guards. No, I'm not doing that. The young thugs are already armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stefan cautiously. I think in this matter it's best to follow his orders, because if I charge him I might get overwhelmed myself before he can help, and calling the guards he's on his own. I'm going to follow my brother's orders. Stefan's firm voice fills you with confidence. You follow your noble brother's orders. It takes a moment to grab a stick, and then you are at Stefan's back, angrily swinging at the louts as they try to bring him down. One of the louts lunges at your brother with a stone, but you hit him with a stick, and he falls down right at Stefan's feet. His sword flashes, the blade sinks deep into the young man's stomach. He wheezes, blood starts pouring out onto the ground. The thugs freeze. Stefan pulls the sword out, his face an inscrutable mask, and returns to his fighting stance. You are stunned to see Stefan take another man's life so easily and effortlessly, like picking his own teeth. The thugs look like they're about to flee. There is a rage and confusion on their faces. They never expected the young nobleman to use that sword. Stefan just scoffs at them. I hope my thing about not picking up fencing is gonna not pick me out here. Lowborn scum, that's all you are. This is the only language you understand. Good job, brother. Gloria, get up, we're going home. Oh, I knew it. He turns to glance at your sister, giving the enraged thugs just enough time to rush you. You get separated from Stefan. Your back is against the wall. They hit you hard in the stomach, then the face, then the side of the head. Then your mind slips away. When the darkness disperses, you find yourself lying in your bed. Stefan is in the armchair next to you reading a book. He is alive! With left arm in a sling and a black eye, but still alive. Your head is spinning and you feel nauseous. You try your best to sit up. Stefan looks up from the book. Don't try to get up, you lost a lot of blood. I suppose there was a few thugs too many for a single warrior, even with good backup. I'm impressed. We fought like an army. The noble orders, the commoner obeys, all according to our lots. We defended the family's honour together. You know, brother, the nobleman's lot is also a great burden that few are able to bear. It takes courage, not to fight everything you see, but to do your duty. Each and every decision a nobleman makes becomes a part of his family's legacy, flowing in the blood tide forever. I think about it often. A noble mustn't act weak. A noble mustn't suffer like people of the lowborn lot. A noble must rule over them wisely. A noble must ensure that they have work to do. It's not merely your own lot you have to look after. You have to ensure that 1,000 others can live by their lot as well. And there are so many more matters to take care of. Honor, dignity, tradition. It's tough, but it's what it takes to be a nobleman. Do you understand what I'm talking about? There is approval in your brother's eyes for the first time in a long while. Oh, that's nice. It was a pleasure to fight side by side, brother. Yeah, and our nobility's gone up, and we are now noble. Nice. I'm quite pleased by that. I thought we were going to die there for a second. And we still got good willpower for 2 more actions. Forbidden love. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met. Our nobility is equal to or greater than 4. So, on that note, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Quite a lot of twists and turns I wasn't expecting. We've got magic is back in play, and we're now a noble personality, at least, if not a name. So, let me know how you felt about the decisions. Would you have done something differently? And I will see you in the next episode. So take care and have a good day.